We're in the middle of the jetpack. It's coming along smoothly, swimmingly. Occurs to me, I don't know how it's going to mount. Currently printing up the chest plate. Again, I'm not quite sure how it's going to lay. All of this was designed in a digital space. None of this has been real until I printed it. So I'm not sure if any of this is going to go together. It occurs to me, jetpack is important and all. It's not what we're doing today. Today, we're going to do the back plate. Because that's kind of where we need to start. The back plate is kind of interesting. I have seen things like this snap on people, like mid convention. It's never a pretty picture. Because of that, I'm hyper paranoid about this. So I made a bunch of tabs, right? And everything just kind of slots together. That's what I was talking about the collar coming around front in the intro. But this is the top, and this is the bottom. The bottom doesn't quite snap together as well. I need to trim up where the support material was. I printed it this way because it's flat. And then I printed a bunch of these little tabs. Again, I'm hyper paranoid about this thing falling apart on me. So I made some tabs to go in between the upper and lower sections. And these are printed in a different orientation than the plate itself, because this was printed this way. The tabs are printed up and down to add a bit more strength. Again, it's probably not needed, but I'd rather be safe than have a broken back plate. So the first thing I'm going to do is trim up all of these edges. Make sure everything fits together nice and neatly, and then it just gets glued together. This should be a super quick one, and then we'll get back to, or the start for you, of the jetpack. Fantastic. I love this jetpack. So that's where we're at. Just trimming stuff up. Just gonna use a utility knife and that was horrible. Just gonna use a utility knife and cut all the edges, smooth everything up. So I've got a couple parts here and there where the support material needs to be slightly rounded. Shouldn't be too long. Let's see. But like I said, I'm just gonna trim everything up. So everything fits together okay. Not perfect, but okay. I guess the same could be said of me. But all kinds of pops together. It's got a slight tapered, look at that. That's a cool looking backplate. Alright, so now I'm going to glue everything. Remember, if you're using glue, only wear stuff you're willing to lose. Because, you know, glue gets everywhere. Get the pieces out of the way. Alright, so I'm going to glue all the tabs, then all the slots, and snap everything together. Use a bunch of clamps to hold everything in place. I mean, it's kind of just gluing, right? There is going to be a seam, and as soon as the glue has dried, that seam is going to be, I'm going to pour a bunch of glue in there. Go. Nice and snug. I will inevitably glue my clamps to my back plate. It's kind of expected. Wish I had a long F or C style clamp, but it is what it is. We set this one over here because it's probably going to drip. Do the same thing with this one. It's just a top and a bottom. They might not line up perfect once everything is said and done. If they don't, I'm okay with that. That is what glazing putty's for. Yeah, I could just dump accelerator all over this too, but I don't think there's a need for that. Go. And I've run out of clamps, so That's the clamp, by the way. All right, I'm gonna give this a good 20 minutes, like serious 20 minutes. Just let it be. It's difficult because I want to keep messing with it, but you know, the right thing to do. Let the glue do what glue does. So we'll see in a few seconds. The glue still has a little ways to go, but we can glue the tabs on. And the tabs are all just these cool little pieces I printed. I'm just going to use these little spring clamps, hold everything in place. They do have kind of a curve to them, so I have to make sure I put them in the right way. So tonight, as soon as I'm done working on this thing, I'm going to dump glue everywhere. Just to make sure, you know, it's all nice and full. And then we'll leave it overnight. But now we're going to leave it and let these tabs cure. We're going to put everything together. And we'll leave that and let that cure. And then we put everything together. And then, you know, the usual. It's had time to do its thing. Still a little worried about, yeah, I over worry about things. And this is another one of the things that I'm over worrying about. But it's time to glue both halves together. Doesn't quite perfectly fit, but I think we can make it fit. So, check all my points, make sure everything is nice and smooth. All right. I'm most worried about getting glue in these tabs because, like I said, at the end of the night, it's going to dump a bunch of glue on the back. We're having another hand to come in super useful. Hey, give me a hand with this real quick, will you? If only. Close. Clamp. Squeeze. And clamp. There we go. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Lines up pretty alright. I think I'm going to get a long clamp to hold everything laterally as well. I'll be right back. Just need to squeeze a little bit. Doesn't actually have to clamp. I wish, like I said, I wish I had a longer clamp that I could just hit the middle with, because this tab has popped up a bit. Alright. I'm going to leave it for like an hour or so. Let it do whatever it needs to do. We'll see. Everything's glued together. I was a little worried about it. Because the the seams, but it's with the tabs it's not going anywhere. I'm actually, when the glue was still kind of gluing, I was a little worried about it, but now it feels I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna lightly sand the whole thing, get it as smooth as I can, and then glazing putty. So that's where we're at right now. Hasn't been fully sanded, but it's been sanded enough that it needs a second coat. It'll probably need another coat in here, because like I said, I wanted a big clamp, didn't have one, so it's a little off center. That's all right. That's what Bondo's for. There's still a couple of spots here, right? It will never be perfect. The spots here, that's where the jetpack goes. So unless I'm just not wearing the jetpack, that's not going to be noticeable at all. I think it's okay. I like it. It's ready for paint. So I'm going to primer it. Sandable primer. And then, luckily these little hooks. Perfect thing to hang it from to paint. But I'm going to sandable primer the whole thing. And then I have to figure out color. I think I have a couple ideas. But first, primer to see where we're at. It's not perfect. You can still see kind of a line, but the jetpack does go over almost all of this. And I'm trying to get to a point where I can let the little details go. Just everything doesn't, you know. I tend to overdo most of it, and so that's where we're at now. I'm going with, for a base coat, this metallic dark metal. It's a Krylon Fusion. It's got that Beskar kind of look to it. I'm probably going to end up painting over it. But for a base coat, I think this is going to be perfect. That's where we're at now. Painting the base coat. I really like this color. I mean, like, I really like this color. I think this is what we're going to go with for all of the base armor. The epaulets, the vambraces, you know, the knee stuff, leg stuff, arm stuff. That's what we're going with. Look how it looks. That's why I have a mannequin. Might as well use it, right? Let's look with the helmet. That's not bad. I think that's what we're going with. I am now even more excited about the next couple of steps. Man, that looks good. I could cover the whole thing in graphite powder and make it actually look like Beskar, but I kind of like the painted look. And when I add bits of silver in areas for chipping and wear, I think it's going to make a huge difference. Which means, now that that's done, we're back on to the jetpack. Spoiler. We're pretty far ahead already on that. That's going to be neat. But that's where we are. I am unbelievably happy with this thing. Like, over the moon. But like I said, we're on to the next part now. If you want to see where we're going on with the next part, you know. If not, again, thanks for making it to the end. I appreciate it. If you liked this video and you like how this is turning out, why don't you share? Nothing helps a channel more than sharing the video with the people that you think will like this. Definitely, I'd appreciate it. But if not, thanks for making it to the end. I'll see you next time.